This video will walk you through tutorial 10.2 and week 12, which will illustrate polymorphism using C#. You're going to start by downloading the starting project, which is the polymorphism zip file. And you're going to download and unzip that file, and then the unzipped folder, you're going to open the solution file. And you can open the form CS to see it, and right click to view code. So we don't have any code yet. We're going to add the code, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a couple of classes. First one is going to be named animal. So we're going to go project, add class, and this one is going to be animal CS. And for the animal CS, you can look at the code and you can see what you're supposed to have for it. So what is the animal? Well, let's just get the code in there first. I'm just gonna copy and paste it. So it's a animal class, which is going to have a private variable species, which is going to be of the string type. And we're going to have a constructor so that we can make one of these, and initially we're going to give it a certain string so that we can initialize the species string to that value. And we're also going to have properties to get and set the values of this private variable, and we're going to have some kind of a public method which is going to be used to make a sound. The virtual keyword that appears in this method means that the derived class is allowed to override this method, so can redefine it. Now we're going to go ahead and add another class, and this class is going to have the name dogcs, and the code for dogcs is also, I've given you that as well. So I'm just going to copy paste it again. So what is the dog? We derive the dog from the animal class and inherit all the properties from the animal class. We're going to add a name to the dog object. We're going to pass dog into the base class. As soon as we use the constructor to create ourselves a new dog, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to call the base constructor, which is the animal constructor, this one, and we're going to send the value dog to this constructor. So now species is going to be equal to dog, and we're going to have species equal to dog. And we also have a property for our private string variable name, and we have overwritten the method make sound here because we said it was virtual. Here in the dog, we're allowed to override it. We said override, and we're overriding make sound. So now the animal is going to make a new noise instead of what it used to here. So that's the idea behind the dog. Now we're going to go ahead and add another class. This class is going to be named cat CS. And the code for the cat is also given here. It's in the book, you can type it up. I'll just copy paste it to here. And the cat is derived from the animal. The cat will have the properties of the animal. As soon as we make a new cat using its constructor, we're going to call the base class, which is the animals class, and we're going to, similarly to how we did with the dog, we're going to pass cat as our species, and that's going to create us a cat with a specific name, and we're going to know it's a cat. And again, we're going to have a property for changing the name of this cat. And we're going to override the virtual method from the base class, the animal class. We're going to override make sound so that now it makes a different sound for the cat object. Go to the form, add the event handlers for when the buttons are clicked, and we can look at the form CS, the thing we need to do. One method we need to add is the show animal info, which before anything is going to use a message box to show us the animal species and whatever it is and make a sound for that specific animal object. What happens when we click the create animal button is we make a new animal, and this particular one is just going to be a regular animal, and we're going to show that animal info using the message box, and we're going to make the default sound. So that will basically do the default sound that you see for the animal here. Now next thing to do is click create dog, and in the create dog button event handler, what we're going to do is create a dog object and give it this particular name. So now this is going to be sent into my dog constructor. So this is going to be the name of the dog that we're passing, and then it will be automatically using the base class sending dog. So that's how that is going to work. And then we're going to show the dog's name, and we are going to show the animal info similarly to how we did with the default animal that we did from before. Next to do is click on create cat, double click that as well, and now we're going to add the code for that as well. And in this case, similarly to how we did with the dog, we're making a cat. This is going to be the name of the cat. We're going to send that into the cat constructor. So that's what this is going to be equal to. We're going to call the base constructor, which is our animal, and we're going to send cat for that. And that's how we're going to make ourselves a cat object with the name that you see here. And then right after that, we're going to use a message box to show the cat's name. And we're going to show the animal info as we did with the default animal and the dog before. So the only other thing that's left is to add your exit button code. So keep in mind that you have to double click each of these buttons before you can add the code to them. Do not go in there and copy paste this whole thing because your code's not going to work, right? You have to double click to add this, and then you have to fill the code manually yourself, like I'm just doing. What is a polymorphism? Well, the example here is that this particular method, which is animal make sound, has a different meaning or different behavior depending on what object calls it, right? So when my default object calls make sound method, it makes this noise. When my dog object calls this method, then this is going to be called using a dog object. So that means that now this method is going to be called, which means that it's going to have a different behavior. It's going to have this sound. And last, if a cat object calls my show animal info, that means that the animal now is going to be a cat. So depending on what object is calling the make sound method, the make sound method has a different behavior. So that's the polymorphism. All right, polymorphism means depending on which object calls make sound, it has a different behavior. So that's basically the idea of this example, and let's just run the code. Create an animal, create a dog, create a cat, and then exit the program.